Africa is not a poor continent. To the contrary, it is rich with strategic resources. It holds half of the world's minerals, including abundant rare earths, and 60% of arable lands that are often not utilized. Africa is not a poor continent, but it has been often, and still is, an exploited continent. Too often, the interventions of foreign nations on the continent have not respected local realities. Often, the approach was predatory, and in spite of this fact, even paternalistic. We must change course. Italy wants to contribute to the construction of a model of cooperation capable of collaborating with African nations so they may grow and prosper from the great resources they possess. A cooperation from equal to equal, because Africa needs no charity, but to be put in the condition to compete on an equal footing on strategic investments that can tie our futures together with mutually beneficial projects.
The exploitation of Africa and Africans by the Western world since 1500 made an invaluable, and even an indispensable, contribution to the building of the economies of three continents, South America, North America, and Europe, while products that embodied large quantities of cheap African slave labor were used by Europe to seriously harm the economy of another continent, Asia. The 500 years of European slavery and colonialism seriously harmed the African economy, damaged the African societal structures, and undermined the psychological self-assurance of Africans. From 1520 until 1888, European slave traders transshipped 15 million Africans as slaves to the Americas. 12 to 15 generations lived as slaves in the Americas. The total slaves deployed over the 370 years in the Americas may have been considerably more than 100 million at a time when the world population was less than 1 billion. The slave trade was cruel and violent. Some African tribes were supplied with the best weaponry at the disposal of the Europeans. It caused a multitude of slave wars between African tribes that lasted for centuries. The deployment of the African slaves in the Americas was immoral, inhuman, and one of the worst crimes against humanity.